Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And this is your horoscope for the full moon in Gemini on January 6th. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we get into this, just a quick disclaimer that this will not be according to Western tropical astrology. This is using Vedic sidereal astrology. So if you are not familiar with what your sidereal moon or ascendant sign is, make sure to check out the calculator down below in the link in the description. And of course, if you want to book a session with me to dive deeper into your horoscope to fully understand what all of your placements and dashas mean for you, make sure to visit over on my website to see the different prices and options where you can book an appointment with me. So we will have a full moon here on January 6th, 2023 at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Time, and this will be in the nakshatra of Punarvasu, which will be in Gemini. So Punarvasu is all about restoration. And this is perfect as we're here in the winter time where this is all about the cleansing, the renewal. This is all about purification. And so this is related directly towards this full moon. And so this is a huge opportunity to clear and remove things from your life that no longer serve you. This nakshatra of Punarvasu is all about transformation. It is the restoration, the rejuvenation, the cleansing, the renewal. And so looking at your life, what are those areas that need to be let go of, that need to be renewed, that need to be reviewed and reflected on? This is a huge time of this deep wisdom and inner contemplation. This will also be a full moon that is aspected over by Mercury retrograde, which has been seated here in the sign of Sagittarius. So very close in conjunction with this full moon, right within a 1-degree conjunction of the sun. And so this is all again about reviewing, about reflecting, about going inward and looking at those areas that need change, that need growth, that need improvement. And this tells us that our focus in this Mercury retrograde has a lot to do with our finances, our business. And so this is a huge time to look at those areas, to look at your security, your stability, to look at the things that need to be addressed before coming into this next new year. So this is coming up strong through this full moon, that this is a release point to make those changes, to make sure that you are cleansing and renewing all aspects of your life to favor you. Punarvasu is also about retrying, re-innovating. There is a connection with the number 3 with Punarvasu, as it is falling in the 3rd sign of Gemini, that there is a pattern here of things repeating in 3s. And so this is a huge moment to look at those areas once again where you need to review, where you need to make those changes and improvements, but also are there things that you have put on hold in your life that you need to start once again, to get in there and to retry it. This is asking you not to give up. Punarvasu is a very strong nakshatra that has to do with resilience, that has to do with independence, self-effort, the ability to strive forward, to get back up from those difficulties and losses and to make a new path that is better for you. And so this is a huge energy that is all about this movement towards a better lifestyle, a better sense of self. This also is a very independent nakshatra. So this is taking us inward once again, where this is about taking that time to deeply reflect. We talked about in the 2023 horoscope how this is going to be a number 7 year. If you have not checked out the numerology video for 2023, make sure to check that out to get your horoscope based on your vibration number. But this is a 7 year that we're stepping into, which is all about spirituality. This is a very mystical number that is about going inward and going through that growth, that improvement, that spiritual journey of finding oneself, of making the adjustments that are needed to evolve, to grow as an individual. This is a time of deep knowledge, of deep insight. The number 7 is able to deeply penetrate through the surface, to get to the depths. And so this is a huge time to use those analytical skills to get to the depths of your life, of yourself, and of those areas where the changes and the improvement needs to take place. This is starting us off directly in the beginning of January. And of course, shortly after this full moon, we will have a shift here as Saturn moves ahead into Aquarius. Saturn is strongest in Aquarius. It is the Mulattricone sign. So strongest home, where this is all about service. This is all about doing what's right, all about using good judgment, all about responsibility, about knowledge, about independence, about resilience, about growth, improvement. And so we have this huge energy that we're coming into here in 2023 that is all about authenticity, that is all about integrity, that is all about doing what needs to get done, completing things, following through, being committed, doing what's right. This Saturn energy is coming down heavy as we come into this next new year, as Saturn is in its full strength. So let's go ahead and go into the horoscope for this full moon for each of the zodiac signs. Once again, using sidereal zodiac and your moon or ascendant sign. Starting off here, for those of you with Aries moon or Aries ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 3rd house. And so this is a huge time of tapping into your skills, your efforts to push forward. Many of you with Aries ascendant or Aries moon feeling very exhausted with this heavy Saturn energy in your 10th house coming into this next year. Some of you even struggling with some health issues at this time. So this can be very challenging, but this is asking you to look at those areas of your life that need growth, that need improvement, that need that change and adjustment. And of course, the 3rd house is all about your skills, about communication, media, journalism, efforts. And with this full moon here, the moon is in its strength. It is most powerful when it is full. The sensitivity is at its highest. And so this is excellent for tapping into your skills and creativity through this house. This also can make you very much connected with your siblings. There can be some sensitivity or a strong emotional bond happening with your siblings at this time. You want to be cautious of any kind of disputes, arguments, fights with your siblings. This can be a time where you are having some heavy sensitivities in this area. And of course, the sun is on the opposite end, lighting up your 9th house. So again, excellent for those of you who are tapping into your skills. This can be excellent for publishing, for any kind of content that you're trying to put out into the world through that 9th house. This is excellent to dive into your studies. This can help with your memory and concentration with this full moon. For those of you with a Taurus moon or Taurus ascendant, this will be a full moon taking place in your 2nd house. And of course, the moon is one of your co-rulers. So moon has a very strong influence in your chart. As it comes into the 2nd house, you do want to watch your spending. For those of you with Taurus moon, Taurus ascendant, this especially is asking you to look at those areas of finances, of security, of family, and to make sure that everything is in check. This Mercury retrograde directly opposite to this full moon, you want to look at the fine print, look at all the details, make sure everything is okay. And this is a time, of course, to pay attention to your eating habits. This can be a big time of emotional eating. With a full moon, the moon is at its strongest and most sensitive here in your second house of your food intake. This is an excellent time for any kind of reading, researching, deep reflection. The sun is lighting up that eighth house, where this is all about digging deep underground and understanding things to the core. For those of you with Gemini moon, Gemini ascendant, this is very prominent for you as this is taking place in your first house, which is a major Kendra house for you, influencing your entire life. Also, this is very powerful as this is going to take place in the first house, which is all about you as an individual, your body, your life path. And for those of you with your moon, all about your mind, how you're thinking and feeling and reacting to the world around you. So this full moon definitely makes you more sensitive at this time. You can be very emotional. You want to really be tender and patient with yourself at this time, not to put too much pressure on yourself. This can be a time where there is some kind of weight gain or excessive overindulgence, so you want to pay attention to these areas. This is an excellent time for deep reflection, meditation, going inward, and of course this makes you very much able to connect with others really well at this time. You can be very sensitive, very social, very intuitive. You can have an very deep intuitive connection with your partner as the sun is on the opposite end lighting up that seventh house. And of course your ruler Mercury is retrograde, so some of you having some anxiety, some stress, some difficulties at this time, things not going your way. Again, you want to take that time for yourself to relax, to not be as hard on yourself, to really take your time to think things through before any kind of impulsive actions. This can be a time where your desires are heightened. Once again, be cautious of overindulgence, but this is excellent for diving deeper into your studies and learning. For those of you with Cancer moon or Cancer ascendant, this will be a full moon going into your 12th house. And of course, this is very significant because the moon is your chart ruler going behind your first house. And so this is a time where this is definitely going to make you very much about reflecting on the past and thinking about where you're headed, going into deeper contemplation. For some of you, this can take you into isolation where you're a little bit more reserved coming into this full moon. This is excellent for any kind of meditation practices, any kind of deep contemplation, taking that time to be patient with yourself, to sit with yourself. And this is excellent for letting go also. Remember that this is a full moon, and this is in a position where this is all about restoration, about cleansing, purification, coming back into this 12th house, which is a house of surrender, of endings. And so this is excellent to let go of any bad habits. Sun is lighting up that 6th house of your health and your daily routine. So anything that is no longer serving you, cleansing that out of your life and farming new patterns, new routines that are better for you is excellent. This can really highlight your diet. This can really highlight your physical health in general. So taking that time to really take care of yourself is very important. This could also be a time where you are being called on for service. Again, the sun is lighting up that 6th house for you. And so this is excellent for showing compassion, generosity. Again, a huge time of surrender, of putting the ego down, of taking that time to come more into a loving space. For those of you with a Leo moon or Leo ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 11th house. And so this is an excellent time for networking, for connecting with people. The moon is all about socializing and connecting and relationships. And this 11th house, of course, is a house of large social gatherings, of network circles, friends, colleagues, and so forth. So this is excellent for you to connect with other people. But this is a full moon where this is about releasing, and we're here in this nakshatra of Punarvasu, which is all about restoration, purification, cleansing. So this is a time to really reflect on your connections that you have and to make sure that those connections really are serving you. For some of you, this could be a time where you are walking away from a relationship that is no longer working for you, or someone else is leaving your life. We do have the sun, of course, on the opposite end that is lighting up that fifth house, putting a lot of the focus on you. And of course, the sun is your chart ruler, so this is very significant. This is an excellent time to go into your studies, into all of your spiritual practices, into your creative talents and hobbies. This is a great time to really enjoy yourself and to be in that creative energy. Some of you are thinking of speculation. You want to be careful though, because the moon is very fickle and it's a very powerful influence here with a full moon. So there can be a lot of change occurring where you're actually coming into losses with this full moon. But this is an excellent time with it lighting up this house where this is all about your creative expression. And so this is excellent for putting that creativity out into the world, into some sort of group scenario, into an organization, something that you were a part of, sharing your ideas, sharing your creativity, your skills with others. This is excellent at this time. And of course, this can be an excellent time for you to connect with your children and your family. So again, this can take you away from these large connections for some of you where you're losing some connections. There can be a lot of fluctuation, people leaving and coming in at this time. For those of you with a Virgo moon or Virgo ascendant, this is very significant because this will be a full moon in your 10th house, a major Kendra house, where this is the house of your career, of your reputation, of how you are in the eyes of the public. And so this is all about responsibility, all about service, which is something that really comes naturally to many of you, is helping others, showing compassion, using your problem solving skills. And so this is excellent for tapping into this. Also, of course, with Gemini up in that 10th house of career, many of you are very talented, very skillful people in your careers, very flexible and adaptable people. And so this is excellent for tapping into that creativity, tapping into those skill sets that you have, really expressing yourself through your work. This can put a lot of pressure on your home. Of course, the sun is down in that 4th house, lighting it up. And sun really doesn't like to be in the 4th house. It's a very hot influence. And so there can be some difficulties in your home life. There can be some things that are changing that need some work, some focus in that area. And so this can be very draining for some of you. This is excellent for you to really take some time to take a deep breath, to take some meditation, some deep contemplation, a walk, whatever it is that is going to help you with de-stressing, with letting go of those burdens that no longer serve you. But this also can be a time where you are called upon for service. People are seeking you out. This could also be a time of letting go of a job or something related to your career that is no longer serving you, or making changes within your career, especially if you are an entrepreneur. This can be an excellent time of restoring things, reviewing things, going over the books, making those big changes that you've been waiting to make in this area. Remember that this is a Mercury retrograde though, so caution is needed, making sure that you're taking the time to read over the fine print, making sure everything is together. This really is a huge time of planning in terms of what you want to do and where you're going. That 4th house lit up, reflecting about what is the direction that you want to take your career in. For those of you with Libra moon or Libra ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 9th house. This is an excellent time for getting into your spiritual, religious studies, any kind of higher philosophies. This moon is really putting a lot of this energy and focus into this ninth house. Some of you are thinking about traveling, thinking about moving location. A lot of thoughts about your future and your path ahead really are coming into mind at this time. The sun, of course, is on the opposite end in your third house, where this has really lit up this third house, where this is all about your self-initiative, about your courage, about your ability to strive ahead. But many of you really coming into this deeper reflection, especially with K2 there in that first house, really starting to understand who you are and what your path is, and really going in deeper. So this has taken a lot of you into isolation, or has been very draining for many of you with this transit, with many people coming in that Rahu in the seventh house. And so this really is a time of reflecting on what is it that you want, what makes you happy, what is important to you, what do you believe in. Really taking that time for yourself is important, especially health-wise, as there can be health issues related to these nodes lighting up your first and seventh house axis. For those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 8th house, very intense. The moon feels very uncomfortable, of course, in the 8th house, but this is a strong moon. The moon is a very positive planet for your chart. Coming into this 8th house really is putting you in a situation of change, and of course, this nakshatra that this moon is falling in is all about change. It is all about renewal, purification, cleansing. And so this is a huge time to look at your financial situation especially, and to make sure that everything is in order. This can be a time of sorting things out financially, dealing with loans, dealing with debt. This is a huge time really of thinking about your area of security, making sure that it is all together. And this also can be a time that is excellent for your spiritual growth and progress, taking you through dramatic transformation where you are starting to make those internal changes. And of course, a lot of you have with this K2 Rahu axis across your 6th and 12th house, that this has really brought you into some deeper contemplation and changes that you want to make about your life. For those of you with a Sagittarius moon or Sagittarius ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 7th house. And so this is going to get you closer to your spouse. For some of you, this is definitely a time where there is a high emotional connection that is happening with your partner. And this can be positive or negative. You want to pay attention to all the planets in your chart, of course. Any planets interfering with this 7th house can really bring this out. Remember that the moon is very impressionable. But as we have this full moon in the 7th house, this can be a time of laying it all out on the table, of really coming to a clear decision about what direction you want to go in your relationship. And this can be a very challenging time, as there can be some loss or letting go of a past situation for some of you. But really, for most of you, this is about discussing things, putting it out into the open, not holding things back and being secretive. Being open with your partner is very important during this transit. And of course, the sun is lighting up your 1st house, giving you confidence, energy, charisma, and this is an excellent time for your health, as the sun is all about good health, vitality, there in your 1st house of your physical body. But Mercury retrograde definitely is asking you to reflect again on your finances, on your situation around security and relationships. Very important. For those of you with a Capricorn moon or Capricorn ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 6th house. And so this is a huge time of really switching things around in your daily routine. This full moon coming in here can mean that you are very time sensitive at this time. Some things that are coming to a deadline that you have to complete for some of you. And this also is a time of paying attention to your sleep patterns, to all of your daily habits and routines, making sure that it is all together. There is something here where this can show you that there is something in your life, in your daily routine, that is out of alignment, that needs to be sorted out. The moon here can bring in some health difficulties for some of you as well. Be careful about getting into arguments, disputes, stressful situations. This can cause some health ailments caused by emotional imbalance. So very important that you're taking care of your health, that you're doing self-help techniques that can help you to manage your stress levels for some of you. This is excellent for sorting out any kind of difficulties that you are going through. But remember that this can be very draining with the moon coming in here. So again, you want to pay attention to your health, making sure you're doing everything that is going to keep you in alignment at this time. This can somewhat disturb your sleep for some of you also, as we have the sun that is lighting up that 12th house. And so this is a huge time, again, of meditation, of reflection, of all those habits that can help you to have some peace of mind. There can be some disturbances for some of you in work-related situations. Something is coming to the table, something that needs to be resolved, that needs to be brought up at this time. And so again, keeping that calm, keeping that center will help you get through this transit. For those of you with a Aquarius moon or Aquarius ascendant, this will be a full moon in your 5th house. This is an excellent energy for many of you. With this full moon coming into your 5th house, this is all about your creativity. Now, moon is a very sensitive planet for you, Aquarius, because it rules over your 6th house, and now it has gone behind itself in the 5th house. So this is definitely a time where you want to take care of your health related situations, especially when it comes to emotional imbalances. You can get into disputes, arguments, but there are things that need to be settled and sorted out at this time. But this is definitely a time of creative expression, about connecting with your children. And these are situations that can help to bring you some peace of mind through some of the conflicts and difficulties that you're going through. Many of you with Aquarius moon, Aquarius ascendant are really fed up at this time, really at your wits' end with this Saturn and Capricorn transit that's been heavy for many of you back in that 12th house. And so definitely you want to pay attention to your health. You want to pay attention to your mindset, your stress levels. All of this is hugely important. So this is a time where, for many of you, writing, getting into that creativity is huge with this transit. Also, this is a full moon that is going to really highlight this area around children. Some of you having situations involving pregnancy, around starting a family, connecting on a deeper level. This can be a very romantic time as well. So a lot of things happening here during this full moon. But you want to take the time to reflect to make sure that everything is in alignment for the things that you are bringing into your life. Of course, sun is lighting up that 11th house, bringing many opportunities and situations to you. Although many of you may be having some difficulties around this, Saturn bringing you back into that 12th house of isolation. And so this is definitely a time of being selective, of making sure that everything that is coming into your space is serving you. For those of you with a Pisces moon or Pisces ascendant, very significant transit. This will be a full moon in your 4th house of home, of happiness, of inner peace. And so this is a great full moon for you. This is also a very positive planet as it rules over your 5th house. So this is giving you some great happiness and satisfaction. This is definitely a time where many of you are feeling at peace, of course, with your ruler Jupiter in that 1st house bringing you many blessings into your life. This is a hugely expansive time. So excellent full moon. This is a time, though, where you want to make sure that you are sorting out situations around career. So for many of you, your social situation is a bit disturbed, even though you are having this hugely expansive time that's bringing you some happiness and fortune into your life. Some of you have broken away from some friendships, social situations, from work situations, have had some things that have fallen apart where you have been letting go of the past with this Rahu that's been sitting here in your 2nd house and continues until October of 2023. So there's a lot here that you need to come into a space of really sitting with this, accepting this, letting go of the things that are stressing you out. You are going through a major transformation, so this is a time of clearing out everything that doesn't serve you, everything that isn't aligned with your heart, with your peace, with your happiness, and understanding that you're going through changes that are going to lead to your happiness, that are going to take you into a brand new direction in life. So there is a lot here to reflect on deeply in terms of your mindset, your perception about where you are in your life.